Good morning, everyone. All the online students, is it the screen is visible? All the online students, could you please everyone respond in the chat window? I request all the online students need to respond in the chat window. Okay, perfect, guys. Let's get started then. So the one we have been discussing about these particular new concepts here. That is what first we done with functional testing, and then we got API testing, and after that we have been learning that particular database testing here. So as part of this particular aspect of database testing, if I just go with this particular aspect of database testing, if I'm just taking with this particular aspect of database testing, we can say that we can mention conforming data saved in proper table or not. So conforming data saved in proper table or not. Okay. So how you will conform this? To conform this, you have to go with retrieve the data. Retrieve the data from database. Retrieve the data from database. So how you can retrieve the data from database? So how exactly you can go with in retrieving the data from database is which you will be taking with, right? So how you will be taking with the retrieve the data from database is which you will be using that particular aspect of SQL query statement. So with the help of that particular SQL query statement, you will be taking with the help of that particular database here. Okay. So for that, we have to understand that how exactly we can write different type of query statement. In writing different type of the query statements, in writing different type of query statement, first we have to complete that particular installation. As we mentioned yesterday, that particular installation followed by two steps. First step mentioned that download and install Oracle. Download and install Oracle Database XC. Mention that Express Edition. And then you will be mentioning that taking with the next one. Download and copy. Download and copy SQL developer. Download and copy SQL developer. So that is what you will be taking with these particular steps. In this way, you will be taking with this particular installation. Either you can try with the installation. If you are comfortable in installing, you can continue that particular installation. Otherwise, you can go with in using this particular aspect of SQL online editor. Okay, SQL online editor for practice. There you are having multiple editors are available. Just you can take with the help of that particular aspect of editors here. Okay. So this is what it will be completing that particular installation. Once that particular installation has been done, then it will be continued that particular practice. So let's see that how exactly we can go with that particular practice. The whole conclusion is, as a tester, mainly as part of that particular interview, we have to get comfortable in understanding what are all different type of query statements we have to write it. That particular query statements also, we have to understand that in working that particular aspect of database commands. We can say that database commands were. So database commands for to retrieve data from. Database commands for retrieve data from. I will be retrieving that particular data from one particular table. Then it will be taking with multiple table. Then it will be taking with that particular one column. Then it will be taking with multiple column. Then it will be taking with based on conditions. Then it will go with based on operators here. This is how it will be taking with different database commands. In case of programming, we are using methods. In case of database, we got mentioned that the terminology is commands here. If I'm just taking with these particular commands, first we have to retrieve the data. But if you want to retrieve the data, first we required a connectivity for database tables. Whenever you are working in the real time, so while working that particular real time, you never worried about in creating with the table. First, you will just go with in connecting to that particular database. So while working that particular real time, just will be looking into that how exactly you can connect that particular respective database. Let's see here. So here I'm just taking with the connectivity. Once I got click on this particular plus button, it will be providing some name. You can provide any of that particular name. It will be taking with that particular batch 77. So which I will be providing with batch 77, it will be taking with testing DB. It will be taking with that particular batch 77, it will be taking with that particular aspect of testing DB. Then it will be taking with database type. Then it will go with that particular username and password. So here, which I will be taking with that particular username and password. Okay. So now, if I just go with that particular aspect of username and password, see here, which I will be taking with that particular username. It will be taking with system. Then it will be taking with password. That particular password it will be providing at the time of database installation, whatever the password you have been provided, the same password it will be provided. Then you will be taking with connection type as a basic. Host name, it will be taking with the local host port number. Then you will be taking with that particular serial ID, which I will be taking with that particular ORCL. To confirm that all these credentials are correct or not, first we can click on that particular test button. First we can click on that particular test. It has been giving the message of success. Then you will confirm all these details are correct. Once the connection has been correct, you can just click on that connect. it will be connecting to that particular database. Now, in this database, in case of real time, sorry, while working that particular real time, the database developers will be available. While working that particular aspect of real time, the database developers will be available. So they will go with in creating all that particular aspect of database table. But for now, as part of the practice purpose, we have to understand that how exactly we can go in creating that particular database. For that, we have to just understand that all that particular commands here, that particular commands also, the syntax we have to get comfortable. For that, all you guys can write with the new heading, mention that creating new table. You can write with the new heading, mention that creating new table and make a note of this particular syntax. Just make a note of only the syntax. All the online students also just write with the new heading, mention that. Right. Just continue in making a note of that particular syntax here. Example is not required. Example is not required. Just continue the syntax of up to that particular highlighted one. Okay, right. So let's understand how exactly we can go with the syntaxes. The whole conclusion is as part of that particular interview, as a tester, you need to be get comfortable in explaining or in writing that particular query statement. Now the requirement is in creating with the table. If you want to be get create with the table, we will be using with the command is create. So create is a built-in command. Like while working automation, how we got in a built-in methods, in the same way while working with the database also, we got these particular built-in methods here, which we will be able to go with this particular aspect of create. It will be taking with create table. It can go with capital letter, small letter. It doesn't make any problem here. We can go with either capital or small. Okay. Which we will be taking with create table. Then providing that particular table name. Providing that particular aspect of table name that we will be taking with employee 77, which I will be taking with that particular aspect of create table and it will be providing that particular table name. Now, in that particular table, what are the columns it has to be created? First, will be taking with employee ID. That particular employee ID, it will be considered as a integer. Along with that, it will be taking with employee name. That particular employee name, it will be taking with varchar. Integer means it's need to be get accept only integer values. Varchar, it will be accepting with the number, it will accept with the character, providing size of this particular column, providing size of that particular column. Then he will be mentioning that employee role, which need to be get mentioning that he will be taking with that particular respective of employee role here, which he will be taking with that particular respective of employee role, which he will be taking with that particular column size. Then he will be taking with that he will be mentioning the employee status, which he will be taking with that particular respective employee status. He will be taking with provided that particular size here. This is what he will be considering that he will be providing with the column names. You are trying to create a table. That particular table you are creating with the name of employee 77. Okay. So that particular table ID, you will be providing these particular respective of column names here. Now, if I'm taking with execution, if I done with this particular execution, the table has been created. So to confirm that the table has been created or not, to confirm that the table has been created or not, it will be using that particular select statement, which I will be taking with select start from EMP 77. What is mean by these particular select statement? What is mean by these particular select statement? You will understand in this particular coming session here. Now I am executing the query statement. So how we are executing? Just will click on this run button. Once I click on this run button, you will be able to see that particular result. Now we are confirming that we are able to see the table has been created, which you will be able to see that table has been created. But only empty table is created because the functionality of create command is which it can create only table. The functionality of create command is which it will be able to go with in creating that particular table here. Okay, done. Now, once table has been created, for this particular table, we have to insert with the data. So how exactly we can insert with the data? That is what we will be using insert command. Just mention that inserting with the data, make a note of this syntax here. Option 1, option 2. Make a note of this particular option 1 and option 2. Only syntax. Don't go with the description. Example description is not required. Example description is not required. Just you can go with only that particular syntax. Just make a note of both the syntaxes here. Just make a note of both the syntaxes. All the online students also, please make a note of only syntax, guys. Example is not required, description is not required. Just make a note of that particular syntax. All the examples not required, guys. Just make a note of both the syntaxes only. Okay, let's see that. So previously we got this particular create command. Create command has been used in creating with the table. In the same way, we got an a insert command. Insert command has been used inserting with the data. So we'll be taking with insert into, which I will be mentioning that which I will be taking with this particular command. I will be taking with insert into. Then I will be taking with that particular table name. That I will be mentioning that employee, I will be taking that particular table name 77. So directly you can insert with the values. Otherwise, first option is it will be providing column names here. That is employee ID. Then you will be taking with employee name, and then it will be taking with that particular employee role. Then it will be taking with employee status. According to these particular columns, we have to provide that particular respective of values here. So how we are providing the values? First I'm giving employee ID 101. Once I got provide that particular employee ID as a 101, then you will be taking with employee name. As an example, I'm just taking with that particular double A. Then we need to provide that particular employee role, that particular employee role mentioned as a tester. Then I will be taking with the status that I will be taking with active. So whatever column names are there, according to these particular column names, we need to be get provide that we need to be get provide that particular status. I'll just go with run. Once I got click on that particular run activity, one row has been inserted. In case if you want to confirm that is it really the data got insert or not, it will be taking with this particular respective of select statement. What is this select statement? I will be explaining it. So here, first we'll get comfortable with other commands. So the data got insert here. Okay. Now, this is, it will be taking with one approach. We got another approach. It will be taking with that particular perspective of another approach. So here I'll just go with and mention that it will be taking with one or two. That I will be taking with inserting that particular perspective of tester here, which I will be taking with another one, which I will be taking with inactive. Then you will go with that particular 104. You will be providing that particular details. You will be taking with dev. Just randomly, I was inserting. Just randomly, we are inserting, which we can go with any of these particular steps here. So this I will be mentioning that I will be taking with active. So if we just look into that, whatever the data we inserted, it will be able to see all that particular data here. Okay, which it will be inserting that particular data. Then it will be taking with 7. Now that it will be taking tester. It will execute it. Okay, 8. Done. Next it will be taking 9. Okay, then 10. Right. So this is what it will be working with inserting with the data. First we got create command, that is creating within the table, insert command, inserting within the data. Now, as data has been available, we can go with update the data. If we want to be get update within the data, two options we got it. One is updating table column. One is we can update table column. Another one, we can update table data. One is updating table column. Another one, updating table data. First, we'll understand updating that particular table column. We'll understand updating table column. For that, you will be using the command of alter. Just write with the heading, mention that alter command. Just write with the heading, mention that alter command and make a note of this particular syntax. Only syntax. Description is not required. Just make a note of that particular perspective of syntax here. All the online students, make a note of that particular syntax. Just only the syntax. Okay, right. See the concept here, which you will be able to go with. Previously, we got that particular create command, creating with the table, insert command, inserting with the data. Then you will be taking with this particular respective of alter command. If I'm taking with that particular alter command, which you will be taking with alter, that you will be taking table. Which particular table we need to be get alter, providing that particular table name, providing that particular table name. So further, you have to go with in adding that particular column, which you will be taking with the add, mentioning the employee salary. So that particular employee salary providing with the data type as a integer, which you will be providing that particular data type as a int. Now you can see that if I am executing, that particular table has been altered. First, we are updating that particular table column. We are updating that particular respective of table column here. Okay. So this is what I will be mentioning, that if I'm taking with this particular step, which I will go with in updating that particular respective of table column. Let's see here. Now, if I just go with this particular respective table, let's cross check that table is updated with extra column of employee salary. But all the data is showing as a null. Only column has been added, data is not added, because alter command has been used in just updating that particular columns only. Now we have to go with in updating that particular respective of table data. So how we can update with the table data, that we will be using update command. To update with the table data, you will be using that particular update command. Make a note of this particular syntax. Mention that update command, mention that update command, and make a note of that particular syntax. Only syntax, guys. All the description is not required. Just make a note of that particular syntax. All the online students also make a note of that particular syntax here. Only the syntax, guys. Right. See the command here. So previously we got an alter command. Alter command which has been used in updating table column. Now you will be taking with update command. You are updating that particular respective of table, which you will be taking with in updating, you need to be get provide that particular table, providing that particular table name. So for these particular respective of table, you need to be get go with in adding with the data set which it will be taking with employee salary. Set employee salary equal to it will be providing that particular employee salary which it will be taking with that particular respective of where condition where that particular employee ID equal to 101. So previously we updated with the table column. Now we are updating that particular table data. That particular data got updated here. Okay. Then you will be mentioned that you can go with all that particular data here. Let's see that. Let's go with in updating that particular respective columns here. Okay. Just randomly I'm providing that particular respective data. Just randomly I will be taking with this particular respective data. You can just go with any of that particular respective data here. Okay. So let's see that in updating that particular respective of data. You need to be get go with in updating that particular respective of data here. Let's see that. So this I will be mentioning that. Nine. Done. Now we can see here. If I just go with this particular respective of table, if I just go with the table, I can go with in updating all that particular respective of data here. So that is what I will be taking with. I will be mentioning that particular respective of data. So for that particular columns, we have not given any condition like only integer, only string. It will accept both the data here, which it will be able to accept that particular both the data here. Okay. So this is what we got an option in which it will be working with these particular respective steps here. Since simple, it will be taking with these regular commands. First command, create command, and then insert command, alter command, then it will be taking with update command. Similar to that, it will be taking with delete command, which it will be taking with delete command. We can delete with the data from whole table. One option deleting with the data from whole table, another option deleting the data from only one particular row. Either we can delete the whole table or we can go with in deleting any one particular row here. Okay, let's see that how exactly I will go with in delete working with delete command. Just make a note of the syntax here. Mention the delete command and make a note of these particular two syntaxes here. The syntax one and then taking with syntax two. Syntax one and which I will be taking with syntax two. Just make a note of both the syntaxes. All the online students also. As part of the database, you have to get comfortable with the syntaxes. That is the reason I'm asking to make a note of it. Just make a note of that particular syntax. Make a note of both the syntaxes, guys. Deleting one individual row and deleting that particular whole table. Right. See that for the time being, I'm not executing it. If you want, you can try on that. We got an option in deleting with the particular row. We are giving with the where condition, mentioning that particular employee ID, which it will be able to delete only that particular row, which it will be able to go with in deleting only that particular row here. Along with that, we can just mention the table name. Whatever the table name you have been provided, that whole table, it will be deleting it. Either we can delete one particular row or we will be taking with deleting with whole table here. This is what you will be taking with one common set of commands here. As part of that particular database, these particular set of commands which you will be mentioning that you will be taking with CRUD operations here. As part of that particular database terminology, this group of commands you will be considering that particular CRUD operations, which is considering that I will be using create command and then it will be taking with insert command, which it will be taking with alter command, which it will be able take update command, which it will be taking with delete command. Create command has been used in creating with the table. Create command has been used in creating that particular table. Insert command has been used inserting with the data. Insert command has been used inserting with the data. Then you will be taking with alter. Alter command has been used in updating table data. Alter command has been used in updating that particular table data. Then you will be taking with update command, updating the table data. Alter, updating table column, update table data. Delete command in deleting particular row, in deleting particular row or in deleting particular column. This is what which you will be understanding one set of commands here. Now, apart from these particular commands, another most important one as part of tester. Another most important one as part of tester, which you will be taking with mentioning the select command, which you will be taking with select command, which has been used, we can say that to retrieve the data. To retrieve the data. If I'm taking with that particular select command, which I will be mentioning that in retrieving that particular data, that I will be taking with select command here. Okay, let's see that how exactly we can go with different type of select statements here. We have to understand that how we can write different type of select statements here. Okay, so let's see that. Let's look into that. In that, the first heading, you can write that. The first heading, you can mention the select statement. First, you can write with the heading select statement and make a note of this particular description. All the online students also write with the main heading select statement and make a note of that particular description. Just continue that particular description up to that particular highlighted one. Just we can continue up to that particular highlighted one. Next, continue the same. What you have been written, what you have been written, just continue the same, this particular description and this particular syntax. What you have been already written, continue the same, that particular description and that particular syntax. Okay, right. See the understanding. Now, while working as a tester, as part of tester, these particular select command is very most important. So while working this particular select command, this is the very most important here. Let's see that. If I'm just taking with this particular perspective of select statement, if I just go with this particular one, send this way, I will be having with this particular select statement, see that. First, it will be using this particular respective of command that it will be taking with select, which it will be taking with the command of select. Functionality of select command. Functionality of select command, we can say that retrieve the data. Functionality of select command is we can mention that retrieve the data. If you want to retrieve that particular data, so what kind of data it has to retrieve? Is that particular table or particular column? What kind of data it has to retrieve? We have to mention. For the time being, I mention that star. If I mention with the star, it will consider the whole table. If I mention that particular star, it will be considering that whole table. Okay. Select star from, which I will be taking with select star from. It will be providing that particular table name. It will be providing that particular table name, which it will be providing that particular table is 77. Let's see the execution. Now it's need to be able to retrieve all the data from this particular table. To retrieve all the data from that particular table, it will be taking with select command. Now we can go with in retrieving all the data. Otherwise, we can go with in retrieving this particular respective of only one particular column, or which it will be taking with this particular respective of more than one particular column. We can retrieve the data from one column, or it will be taking with the retrieve data from more than one particular column in any order. It can be in any order. We got an option in retrieving that particular respective data here. So that is what I will be taking with this particular select statement. So while working this particular select statement, we can come up with in writing different type of. We can come up with in writing that particular different type of conditions. We can utilize that particular operators. So while working this particular select statement, we can come up with the condition. That is what it will be taking with where condition. Let's see that how we can work with that particular where condition. Make a note of that particular syntax. Mention that where condition. Mention that where condition and make a note of this particular syntax up to that particular highlighted one. All the online students also just make a note of that particular syntax. Only the syntax, guys. Not record all the description. Just make a note of only that particular syntax. Right. See that. So which I will be writing this particular step. I will go with select statement. Select star from. It will be providing table name. For this, it will be writing with the condition, which I will be taking with where that particular employee salary. Right. So where employee salary greater than that particular 50,000. We are applying that particular condition where that particular employee salary greater than 50,000. Or else I'll go with that particular less than, then it's need to be get provide that particular records. It's need to be get able to get provide that particular respective of records. So in this way, you will be able to go with in providing these particular steps here. So this is how you will be having an option in which you will be taking with these particular step. So this is what you will be mentioning, that you will be working with these particular select statement. You're working with the select statement only. While working with the select statement, we got that particular condition. Along with the condition, we can go with some operators. Along with the condition, we can utilize some operator, which I will be mentioning that like operator and in operator. Just make a note of these particular syntax. Mention that like operator and make a note of this particular syntax here. Just write with the heading like operator and make a note of that particular syntax. Only that particular syntax description is not required. Continue the same. Make a note of this particular in operator. Okay. See the understanding. So we are working with the select statement. Along with the select statement, we are working with the where condition. Along with where condition, we can go with in applying operators. Mentioning that it will be taking with employee role. So that particular employee role, it will be using like operator. So here I'm just providing only starting letter. Now it's need to be get retrieve the records. It's need to be get able to retrieve the records of where it has been matching with the role of the starting letter should be D. After starting letter, it can be anything which it's need to be able to have that particular starting letter will be D. So we got an employee role by getting started. That particular letter is D. Or if I mention that particular T, it's need to be get provide that particular employee role getting started with that particular T here. So this is what you will be working with this particular aspect of like operator. So while working that particular aspect of like operator, which you will be taking with the help of these particular steps here. Now you will be taking with this particular like operator. We got an option to apply only one particular filter. That is, you can apply only one condition. In case if you want to apply more than one particular filter, if you want to be get apply more than one particular filter, then you will be taking with in operator, which you will be taking with in operator. For that, you will be taking with first filter. Mention that you will be taking with that particular dove. It's need to be get able to retrieve all the role of dove. Along with that, we are adding one more filter. Along with the dove, it's need to be get go with tester. Then it will be able to retrieve that particular respective of tester. It will be taking with that particular developer one particular filter which you will be taking with the tester one more filter. So that is what you will be working with in operator. So while working that particular like operator, we can apply only one particular filter. In operator, you will be taking with only, sorry, we can apply more than one particular filter. Okay. So this is how we can continue using the operators. Similar to that, we got some more operator mentioned that between, make a note of this particular syntax. Mention that between operator and make a note of that particular syntax here. Only the syntax, guys. All the description is not required. Just you can make a note of only that particular syntax. Right. See that. So if I just go with this particular condition, which I will be taking with in mentioning that, where it can mention employee salary. Employee salary, it will be taking with that particular between. For example, I'll go with 6, which I will be taking with and that particular 60,000. In between, in between of that, it's need to be able to retrieve all the records here. So in between of that particular one, it's need to be able to retrieve all that particular records. If I mention that particular 90, it will be able to retrieve all that particular records here. So that is what it will be taking with while working this particular select statement. Along with the select statement, we got utilizing the operator. One you will be taking with like operator, in operator, then you will be taking with between operator. In the same way, we got order by. So just make a note of this particular syntax. Mention that order by, make a note of that particular syntax. Right. See that. So how exactly we can go with this particular respective of order by? First, I will be taking with select start from. I will be taking with that particular table. Then I will be mentioning that I will be taking with order by. So order by, I will be taking with that particular employee salary. So that particular employee salary, you will be mentioning that I will be taking with ascending, which I will be taking with the ascending order. So ascending order, first it has to go with lowest value. From the lowest value, it will be taking with highest value. So that it will be taking with that particular respective of ascending order. You can try with this particular respective of descending order. First, it's need to be get provide highest value. From there, it will be taking with that particular lowest value. This is how we can continue in utilizing these particular operators. And the last one, we got one more operator. Just make a note of this particular syntax. Write with the heading distinct and make a note of that particular syntax. Right. See the understanding how exactly we can work with this particular command, which I will be mentioning that distinct. Right. So which I will be mentioning that this particular select distinct from I will be taking with this particular respective of column name. Column name, right? Oh. So which I will be taking with that particular column name. I'll just mention that employee status. From I will be taking with employee 77. So the meaning of these statements is I will be taking with. Right, guys. So which I will be taking with this particular select. This functionality of distinct command is which I will be able to go with. Oh, spelling mistake, huh? Okay. So the functionality of this particular distinct is it's need to be get provide only unique values. In that particular column, whatever that particular unique values are there, it will be able to go with this particular respective of unique values here. In case if I mention that particular employee role, in that particular column, what are the unique values are there, it will be able to provide that particular unique values. In this way, it will be having with the possibility in working with these particular respective of operators, which it will be taking that conditions and which it will be working with these particular commands here. Along with this, we have to get understanded date commands also. Like we can retrieve current date, future date, or we can retrieve that particular previous date. Different type of date commands we can use it. That will be discussing it. After that, we have to go with this particular joins concept. Nothing but retrieving with the data from more than one particular table. So till now, it will be taking with which it will be taking with one particular table. In the same way, we need to be get understood. It will be taking with and retrieving with the data from more than one particular table. So that we need to be get understand on that. And after that, it will be taking with, it will be discussing about Playwright with the database. With the help of Playwright program, how we can connect with the database, that will be discussing it. After that, we'll be getting started with AI concepts here. So that will be looking into that, how exactly we can go with these particular respective of AI concepts here. Let me complete this. Tomorrow we'll continue this. Once it has been done, then we'll be getting started with AI concepts. But as part of real time, is it mandatory? These many things we need to be get implement or not? It depends on the requirement. But as part of interview, it's mandatory that you have to go with these particular things here. So just go with the practice of these particular syntaxes. As part of the database, you have to comfortable in writing all that particular query statement, that particular query statement syntaxes need to be done here. Okay?
Welcome to Music World.
Clear everyone?
Bluetooth mode. Okay.
Right. So just make a note of, have a practice of all that particular syntaxes and please spend with the more time with the different type of query statements as part of that particular interviews here. Okay? Take care about that particular syntax here. Right. Any questions? You guys can carry on your questions. Online students having the questions, you can continue. All right. No more other questions, right? Okay then. Please take care about the practice. Meet you tomorrow then. Thank you.